This podcast is brought to you by Riding Lights Theatre Company. We've been making drama that makes a difference since 1977. We take stories into prisons, schools, churches, community centres, anywhere we can. We're a charity supported financially and prayerfully by our members, but we need your help to keep making life-changing, award-winning theatre. If you'd like to make our theatre company your theatre company, consider becoming a Riding Lights member by visiting www.ridinglights.org or donating via the link on the show notes of this podcast. Riding Lights Theatre Company, making theatre that makes a difference.
Riding Lights Theatre Company presents Wordplay. Season 1, The Passion. Episode 5, The Governor. Come with me now. Come with yourself. Come with your pride and your pragmatism into the Antonia fortress. Come with me to a luxurious bedroom where wealth lines the walls and a woman sweats the bed with supernatural fear. It's Thursday, and Pontius Pilate, Roman Governor of all Judea, can't even govern his sleep.
My wife's been having nightmares. Visions, she calls them. Rather a grand way of putting it, but then this place has a way of making everything feel, what's the word? Spiritual. Something in the Jerusalem water, or backwater, I should say. I try not to spend much time here, but things get a little hot during the festival, so it helps to bring a presence into the city to keep things in order. I come at the head of the Imperial Cavalry, 120 horses with swords, with spears, armed to the teeth. I come through the west gate, the front gate. I show myself to my people, and if they don't get my message, then I write a note and nail it to the cross above their heads. It's all about communication. My wife finds them stressful. The dreams, I mean. The Galilean bothers her. The Galileans bother me. They revolted once. I built an aqueduct. My gift to the city. Clean water. More water. Superstitious places like these need to be modernized, and I felt it was only right the Jews pay. I took money from the temple treasury. They got upset. It was meant for God. And I said, yes. The Emperor Tiberius is your God, and he wants you to have better water. Your God is indeed gracious. Instead of thanking me, there was a riot. The men from Galilee did not like it, so I was merciful. I had them clubbed into silence. A broken mouth tends not to speak. It was the merciful thing to do. I could have used swords, but I am not a violent man. Our crosses help, of course. Rioters would rather be killed than captured and hung up on a cross. I've found such deterrents to be most useful in my time as governor. The priests help too, insofar as they can, Caiaphas and the rest. We kissed and made up after the aqueduct business. They fear the wrath of Rome as much as I do. Too much bloodshed here, and if I'm not careful, Emperor Tiberius could remove me as governor. We need to work together if we all want to keep the peace. It's about collaboration. She's having another dream. It's got worse since we arrested him. She thinks him innocent. If I'm honest, I'm not entirely convinced. Nightmare or otherwise, she's entirely wrong. He wasn't speaking out against Rome. In fact, from what I could see, he was telling everyone to pay their dues. No trouble getting an aqueduct out of that one. But he is disrupting the temple and he claims to be a messiah. And quite frankly, we have enough trouble with local kings as it is. Caiaphas and his temple guard arrested him when he was praying in a garden. If you can imagine anything so strange. I mean, he has a temple to pray in. Why doesn't he do it properly and pray inside? Odd fellow. Conducting his religion with flowers as if they could help him? They brought him to me. He stood there, silent, wasting my time. I asked the priest to handle their own wretched business instead of dropping it on my doorstep. They wanted him dead and pointed out that I wouldn't let them kill anyone, which is a valid argument. So I was forced to give him a look. He had been beaten around the face. There was spit in his hair and beard. Very undignified, and yet there was a tremendous dignity about him. He had a paradoxical poise. I asked him directly, "Are you the king of the Jews?" I repeated the question. "It is, as you say," he replied. I couldn't tell, honestly, if the fellow was being sarcastic. Either that or he was rabidly mad, which is hardly worth the expense of a crucifixion. The priest began to hurl insults and accusations at him, and he remained silent. The priest launched another volley of questions. "Don't you wish to respond to these accusations? Are you a blasphemer? Did you threaten to destroy the temple? Are you instigating a riot against Rome? Do you claim to be God?" He remained still, noiseless, peaceful even. He was a curiosity, but clearly not a dangerous one. I asked him a question myself. "Are you a king?" And he finally broke his silence. When he did, everyone else broke with fury and clung to every word. "Are you a king?" I asked. And he said, "You say I am, and it's the truth." The truth! I interrupted, but he would not be interrupted, and for a moment I felt as if I had no power at all. Most odd, indeed. He continued, "My kingdom is not of this world. I come to speak the truth. Everyone who knows the truth knows my voice." He was clearly an idealist. Myself, I'm a pragmatist. Everyone has a story, and the only thing that matters is whose story is loudest. Facts, I find, tend to be rather irrelevant. If he was king of the truth, then it was a very poor kingdom indeed. He was welcome to it. "I'll take power over truth any day of the week and twice on Sundays." I told him so. What is the truth? And predictably, he remained silent. I find no basis for a charge against this man. I told the priests, who didn't like that at all. So they took him off to see Herod. Not the kindest of men. A bloodletting would inevitably ensue, and I wondered if that might finally bring the fellow to his senses. Herod, to his credit, did not kill the fellow, but left that to Rome, which I thought was a nice gesture given the circumstances. I was eating an early breakfast of pomegranates when they brought him to me again. Delicious. The fruit is sweet here. They brought the Galilean, and he was in a bad way. Herod addressed him as a pretend king. A little ironic, I thought, given that Herod himself is a pretend king. Perhaps that was his joke. The man, Jesus, now robed in imperial purple, a crown of thorns placed upon his head and blood running into his eyes. And I thought, now he will break. Now he will ask for help. But he did not. So I refused to kill him. I'm not a monster. My wife was relieved. But a mob had gathered outside, which didn't help her rest. They wanted a prisoner release, a gesture of love from Rome. It seemed a handy matter, for I had just the fellow in mind. He was standing before me and bleeding on my floor, but they wanted someone else. A rioter, a man whose mouth had healed since he had led a mob against me over the aqueduct business. A man named Barabbas. "You can't let him die," my wife said. She begged me in a nightdress. "You can't let him die." But I'm a pragmatist. I put it to the mob. I stepped out and addressed the mob from my balcony. Not many of them, but enough. I was gracious in my delivery. "Do you want me to release the king of the Jews?" I'm told he was quite popular earlier in the week. Came into town on a donkey like a fool, and everyone loved it, apparently. I thought they would love my offer of setting him free. I thought they would love me, and if nothing else, it would keep my wife happy. "Do you want me to release the king of the Jews?" I asked. But they said, No. They said. So I released Barabbas and ordered this. What was he, this Jesus, to be crucified? Had I not done so, there would have been another riot which would have got me in hot water with the emperor. I have no wish to get burned, so I wash my hands of the whole business. When one is a governor, you have to make compromises. It's all about compromise. He dies today. Hopefully that'll put everything to bed. I certainly hope so. My wife could use the sleep.